So this is part 3 of the yz80 build series, or whatever you want to call it. This is the piston anyway. I've got the full kit. That's the genuine Yamaha one. Inside the piston, you see there, 4ES. That's it there. This is the 80 barrel 4ES. Okay, that's the piston that was in it. I only changed it because of that. It just looked worse on the camera when I first took the barrel off on the other video. But that's still alright, that piston. See it there. Hardly any movement, there'll be none when the ring's in. And this is the new one. It's just the same. So first I'm going to put a circlip in one side, putting the barrel onto the bike that way. So I'm going to put the circlip into that side. So that's the circlip in that side. I'll show why soon. Now I'm going to put the ring in. Just checking for letters. Sometimes they have little letters on there, on the other side. If I've got letters on, it goes on that way. So you look down, you can read the letters. Lube in there with 2-stroke. And if you ever get a piston and it hasn't got, see that's got the pointer pointing towards the exhaust. If you ever get a piston and it hasn't got a pointer and you don't know which way is which, the notch where the piston rings or ring join together is always on the back of the piston, like towards the carb. Nips up to that little groove when it fits in. A bit over a bit, but at least the ring's all lubed. You can see the oil coming out of it. It's all over my hands. Get the piston. It's going in that way like that, with that arrow facing the exhaust port. So nip your ring over there, and then slide the barrel into here, the piston into the barrel. So you just nip it up. That's the ring in now. So now, how I push the circlip into this side, push the gudgeon pin into this side where the circlip isn't. Just lube it up. That's it in now anyway. It's just sliding alright. So now we're going to put the barrel on, but just before that, the radiator and the hoses are in the kitchen. So I'll just get them and quickly whip them on. So that's the radiator on now. Just lube the little end bearings which go in there. I'll put the base gasket on. What was on? It was just a blue paper one. Now we've got the piston and the barrel, and it goes on that way onto the bike. So pull that pin back, because that pin slide through the little end bearing there. That's why I put the circlip into that side. So once it's on, you don't have to put the circlip in, knowing that's hanging on the bike. It's easier. And you can see when you look through here, when this pin's lined up with the little end bearings, so you know when to push it. That's it there, it's through. So just keep it like that, with the pin sticking out, keeping the barrel up while I go and get the circlip. Put something in there so that if the circlip pops out, it cannot drop into the bottom end. And that's that circlip fitted in that side now. That's the barrel on. I'll get the 4 bolts on. These are off the yz80. Just this has had mismatched bolts on, so I'm just going to tighten them up by hand and then get the torque setting and set them at the correct torque. Just don't fully tighten them, just nip them up, and then we'll torque them all down now. So that's the barrel all torqued now. We'll get the 2 rings will go in there for the head gasket. That's the inner one, and that's the outer one. Just put that one in there like that. It's just sitting in its groove, and put the outside one on. That's the outside one in its groove. I'll just slide that on. And they're off the yz80 as well. The torque setting's 30 Nm, so we'll get them on. Once again, if I haven't mentioned in this video, I've mentioned it loads, probably that one, then that one, then the back one. In a sequence, don't just tighten one down, then tighten this one down, you'll warp the head. So you can see that with that, then that. That's on 30 Nm now, the torque wrench. That's the more torqued up now. So that's the bolts and the barrel on that. There's the CDI. Remember in the first video I said I was going to clean the plugs. I just cleaned them. Just slides on there. Then I'm going to wire all the wires up next. Get the spark plug, check for a spark, but there will be anyway. So it's sparking good. I'm going to put the engine bolts in now, the mounting bolts. That's why I always leave the swinging arm slack, because if you look, if you tighten your swinging arm bolt up and you haven't put your engine bolts in, the engine bolt is offline, so you have to undo your swinging arm again, because they'll be offline. I cannot see from here, but I know I'll have to lift the engine up to get the bolts in. Anyway, we'll put them in, and we'll put this, that's not the spark plug out of this, I've lost the spark plug. We'll put this water pipe on. The gear stick, what I got for it, doesn't fit, it hits that. So we'll test it, we're going to use the yz80 gear stick. So anyway, I'll get all that done anyway. So I'll get the front engine mount bolt in. And the bottom one, which is longer. And now that they're in, I can bang the swinging arm bolt from the other side so it comes through. I remember I left it, I think it was late when I was doing it. That's that through. So I'll get the two nuts onto the bolts, and the nut for that, I think I bought a brand new one, and we'll get them tightened up. That's the new bolt, and that's the new washer for the swinging arm, Yamaha one, so I'll put them on there. That's the bolt in. Now I'm going to put the chain on. I'm going to have to make a connector for that. If you remember, them two wires were snapped, and I've just joined them together before. But that's the chain on. When you put the link on, always have that round part facing the way that the chain's going. Never have it with those little end bits facing that way. So these pliers might work, just little old ones. That's the clip on, so you have it that way. And now, before I put everything back together, the carb on and that, I'm going to take the airbox off, because the screw on the other side, how the screw's moulded into the plastic, the bolt behind it, when I'm trying to turn it out, it's just turning, so I'm going to drill it out, because I've got a brand new, I think that's it there, back thingy for it, back mud flap, so we'll get the airbox out now. And that's the airbox out. That's the bolt I can't get out. That's it there, is it? No. It's down the bottom behind there, filter down there. You can't see it. I'll take the filter out. So that's the air filter out. Just crumbled in my hands when I touched it. I've got a new one for it down there anyway. And there's inside the airbox. Them two screws at the bottom. That one and that one, they just turn, so I don't know what I'm about to do, but I'll cut that black rubber off on the bottom, maybe just put a nut on there and a bolt going through, just so I can get this, a new mud flap on there, that one what I've already showed. So I just had to grind that side off. the side where it had the big rubber lump on, would still had the nut in. Ground that off flat. There's a washer and a washer on that side with 2 locker nuts, and I've got that on there like that. So it's going on alright. I don't know if it's going to touch or not, but I can sharp adjust it. Now, I've already ultrasonic the carb before I started stripping the engine and everything. So what I'm going to stop this video here, because like I say, I've got all these here to go in. Little nuts, little spacers for all in here, like that's one there. And there's something to go in there to keep that in, and there's something to keep there just to protect the plastics they are. And like I say, there's a pack of 4 there of those ones. There's a pack of 4 of those there, those spacers. I'll have to look at the part numbers on them. There's some more little ones. I'll have to look at the part numbers and see where they've come from. You know, on the part diagram, I know that's for the water pump, because the bolt I took out it looked as though somebody made a shear bolt and put it in and snapped it or something. It was run when I put it away, and I've got them there for the plastics as well. And these here and these here, and there's more, look. So we'll be putting them on, but next video I'll be showing the carb in bits, but it's already clean, but I'll just show how to do it. I'll be putting the carb on, putting the plastics on, and that's all it needs. And it just needs that nut put back in there now. I haven't tightened this up because I have had this off to clean this, and once the carb's on, this might be in a different position, so I haven't tightened it up yet by there, because this boot can move. So I'm going to wait till the carb's on, then move that, then tighten that up. Alright, that's everything for now. So we'll be finishing that off later. I've had a break for 3 or 4 weeks. I've been busy doing something else. But anyway, I've just bought that as well, a little Suzuki RM80. That's the next project. There's the yz80. That's still in bits, because I've been doing this and the other thing I've been doing. Anyway, thanks for watching.